Hey y'all,
Welcome to Shat Chat.
a Divorce Kid podcast.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are
Divorce Kids!
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome to episode number 3.
Wow, S2E3.
That's so true. At first I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yes.
I'm picking it up now.
How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Specifically today, I'm feeling a little sleepy, but
Yeah.
otherwise I'm feeling good.
Yeah, a little sleepy-eepy.
Yeah. Big weekend, you know?
Yes. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we, you had a
Yeah.
bit of an adventure day.
And you know what? For some reason, whenever there's like an event scheduled for the weekend, Nashville weather loves to be beautiful and nice throughout the week. And then the day of said event is like, you know what? We're actually going to throw you in a flood watch, a tornado watch, and any other sort of watch we could throw you in.
It really is like that. It's like beautiful on the weekdays and then shit on the weekend.
I know. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about, but
you pushed through.
We did. There were some breaks in the day where it stopped raining a little bit. Very ominous clouds out there.
Yeah.
But we made it through. And we were home by like 8 p.m., which is
I
so
love that.
Nice.
The birthday party. Do you remember I mentioned this birthday party Philippe and I are going to?
Yes.
Started at 9 p.m.
No, it didn't.
It truly did. 9 p.m. to midnight. Because it was a father-daughter birthday party where the daughter was turning 21 and their birthdays are one day apart.
Cute.
So I think it was his birthday yesterday. And then they were like, we want to go until midnight because then it's her birthday.
Right.
And she's turning 21.
Wow.
We did not stay until midnight. But yeah, I was not anticipating. I've never had plans at 9 p.m. If like even in college, parties did not start that late, or did they? Well,
yeah, they did.
no, actually,
yeah, they did for sure. It was funny because last night Mel and I got home at like 8 p.m. like I said, and it was raining cats and dogs. So I went upstairs to her room and she was like blow drying her hair just to like, get ready to go to bed. And she was like, it's funny because I'm blow drying my hair right now to make it so I don't sleep on wet hair tonight. But in reality, we'd generally be getting ready to go out right now. And I was like, and I'm so glad that we're in already for the night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. But yeah, I'm a little tired today.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel it. It's a day of rest.
It is Sunday.
Happy Lent.
Happy Lent, everybody.
The office that I work in is half a church. Like the front half of the building is the Hope Church off Gallatin.
Okay.
And it's like a massive brick building though. And so the back half of it is all like office buildings. But they do like, there's like a churchy vibe.
Okay.
And sometimes they'll do like breakfast for everyone.
That's cool.
But like it was Ash Wednesday last week. That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
But yeah, there was a whole.
Yeah, I think it's been like 12 days of Lent.
Did you ever do Lent?
No.
Oh.
Never done it.
I feel like you would like it. If you like 75 hard, you would like Lent.
Yeah.
It's basically like 40 medium.
I know. It's kind of cool. I would love to like give up something for like 40 days.
You can.
I could, yeah. We're 12 days in or however many days.
You missed it this time, but...
Next year. There's always next year. I mean, I could start it just a little late.
I like it. I liked it growing up a lot because it is a nice time to also just reflect and...
Yeah. What did you like usually give up?
Meat, social media, spending, like buying things, swearing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think what else.
Yeah, that's
Those
good.
kinds of things.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I would give up.
The tricky thing is that like really for Lent, it shouldn't be things that you're doing to then like bend like like it shouldn't be like giving up sugar so then like I can be like skinny and fit.
Oh.
Because that's very vain. It's
Right.
supposed to be like a genuine sacrifice of like something.
I would give up, I mean, I've done it before, but I would give up alcohol for like 40 days just to like recalibrate myself. And like,
Yeah,
I guess we
great.
kind of did that last year.
No, you really did.
It was not quite the Lent situation, but more or less.
Yeah, I love Easter though.
Yeah, Easter's fun. It's a good time. I'm just thinking of what Tompi always like has us make for breakfast. So it's always these like egg casserole things. I
He
remember
loves
we did
a
that.
croissant casserole,
That
breakfast
thing.
casserole.
Yeah, Yeah.
Actually, y'all get into that. That shit's really good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, that's kind of like, is that your worst nightmare?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, now that the eggs are okay, I can have those. I'm less like...
But nothing else in there.
Yeah.
You could have like a little like frittata though, like a veggie frittata.
Oh, I love a frittata.
Love a frittata.
Really good. Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Easter. I'm excited actually.
Should we do something fun?
Why not?
A little Easter brunch?
Yeah, if you guys are... Maybe I should do it here.
Okay. Love that. I'm in.
We'll see. I always feel bad having you like host more than you guys already do.
What's up, man? We like it. We should do an Easter egg hunt.
I do like an Easter egg hunt. What can we put inside the eggs? Okay, we'll talk about this privately.
Yeah, we'll do this off air. Sorry.
Off air.
Sorry. Well, do you want to give us what you're wearing today?
Oh, yeah. Nothing really special. I'm wearing my... What are these? Zara, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which we both have.
I think I gave mine away, but yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Big rip knee jeans from Zara. Just a Madewell t-shirt that has holes in it already. And this shirt that I've thrifted that I love. My Adidas from your brother.
Cute.
And the Aritzia socks that you got me.
Love it.
The only gray socks I have anymore, and I will never get rid of them.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You heard it here first, y'all.
And Hannah has a really fun chore coat on today.
Yeah, it's a fleece shacket chore coat of some sort. It's pastiche. I don't know if that's how you say it. But it's from my Newly subscription. I decided to throw it in there. I was maybe going to bring it to Colorado. We were in Steamboat last week, and I was thinking about it, but I brought a different fleece. Anyways, so I figured might as well get a wear or two out of it.
So fun.
Thank you. And then I'm wearing a pair of Free People. I think these are the Moxie jeans. I don't know. They've got some paint splatters on them. They're kind of fun. And also wearing some TNA Aritzia socks. Mine are black.
Love.
And the tried and true platform mugs.
Fabulous.
I haven't worn them in a while. So, on the podcast. I feel like that was a lot of like when we would give our OTDs, it was always the platform mugs. But,
yeah.
You know.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. You know.
Feeling cozy.
Feeling really cozy.
Feeling
today.
Sherpa.
Yeah, I am. I love it. Anyways, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, I don't know what to call it really.
I know.
Well, a passage, I guess.
Well, you've been reading this book called Passages.
Passages by Gail Sheehy, which I actually found my way to via reading Ina Garten's memoir, which is really good. For those that don't know Ina Garten, she's like a Food Network food show person, and she used to, like, before all of that, she had like a specialty food store in the Hamptons in like the 80s and 90s that she ran. But she just has a really, really interesting life and has gone through a lot of changes and tried out a lot of things in her life. And she mentioned this book at one point, I think when she was going through a similar like developmental, kind of like a quarter life crisis or something like that. And how this book was like really reassuring for her. And so I picked it up because I feel like I also have been like sort of in the middle of like a quarter life crisis. I guess it's sort of like, as I've read this book, very normal as you like get to the end of your 20s and are like approaching 30, and it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And that's very normal. But yeah, so this book is called like Passages, Predictable Crises of Adult Life. And basically the author was just like, she was a journalist and a writer before that and would do a lot of these kind of like life overview interviews with people. And she was like, I just kept hearing about the same kinds of like transitional periods.
Yeah.
Where people would be like, and then out of nowhere when I was 45, like I just like my whole life didn't feel like mine anymore. Or like all of a sudden I'd never had panic attacks. And then like approaching my 30th birthday, I started getting them. And she was just like, this seems like there's these like chapters that, like everyone is having. And so this was, I think, one of the first times that someone had really put the adult years and the development of the adult years in a book, because there was a lot of research, because it's from the 70s. There's already a lot of research about like childhood development and then like older age development until like death. But no one was talking about the adult years. It was kind of like, well, then nothing's really happening much.
It's kind of crazy to me that like nobody thought to be like, okay, yeah, you're learning how to like walk, and then you know, all those like developmental things that happen until you're like 18 essentially.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but you know, between the ages of 18 and 60, you're on your own.
You're good. You're an adult now.
Get after it.
You're not changing and growing and all of that.
Yeah. I'm like, I would like to argue that I think you do the most growing between the years of like 18 to whatever the like.
Yeah. It's almost like, I think the only thing that's like science really cared about was like physical development. And I mean, to be fair, like psychology was not even, I don't know all the history of psychology in America, but like, I don't think it was just that deeply cared about.
Yeah.
I mean, like people barely even knew that like PTSD was a thing until like people came back from war and were like fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting that we just like only look at physical development. And then when it's about like internal, emotional, mental development, we're just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. It's like push to the wayside.
Yeah. Cause it's more just an internal thing that we're going through, I guess. And like, you don't really, I guess, look different as it's happening, but it's like it can feel huge.
Yeah, totally.
Inside.
Yeah.
But I've only read through, so like the first couple sections are like moving out of your like family homes, like at the ages of like 18 to 22 or 24, and kind of like moving away from being like a child of your parents in the family structure to like an independent adult in the world. And then like through the 20s up till 30. So like kind of that's how far I've read. But there was an interesting passage in that 18 to 22 section that I thought would be fun for us to talk about today. Because a lot of this also talks about marriage and divorce, and how a lot of times divorce is preceded by people not maybe going through these developmental stages that you should ideally like go through.
Right.
So then people find themselves in marriages when they weren't really ready. And then they end up having like this crises during the marriage,
right,
and then get divorced
at like 40 to 45, which is like interesting because that's like right when our parents got divorced, so it seems 100%. To all be adding up.
Gail would be like, I could have told you that,
literally.
So yeah, I can just like read a little section of this and then we can talk about it.
Love it.
Also so the 18 to 22 section is called like the pulling up roots passage. And it says, all too often, a young woman feels unable to polarize herself sufficiently to make the separateness from her family circle stick, unless buttressed by a stronger one. Be he, for example, an addict boyfriend, a pimp, or simply the man idealized as superior. She glorifies him as the rival of her parents and empowers him to speak for the bad self that she cannot risk expressing. In this way, she evades her own painful developmental task. Consequently, no shift of authority takes place internally from other to self. It's merely an external transfer of control from other, her parents, to another. It may look like rebellion, but it's really a forfeit of the self in the vain hope that someone else will direct her to real life and absolute truth.
Damn.
And yes, I think that what preceded this passage was this idea that like you, as a kid in your family, you are in the passenger seat and your parents are in the driver's seat. And then you should move into the driver's seat when you turn 18 and start like living your life as an independent person. And that a lot of times young men, that's sort of like built into society that like they're encouraged to do that, but women often are not. And so instead of like us moving into the driver's seat, our parents get out of the driver's seat and we just look for someone else to fill that spot instead.
Right.
And it's usually going to be through another strong male figure, or a stronger one is this like theme in the book.
Yeah.
That we can instead use them as like a substitute for our own development.
Yeah. And then you end up like delaying your development or never even going through it.
And she says the more you delay each step, it will get more and more explosive when it does come to surface, which I think is why then you might find women in their 40s with like this husband that maybe they don't love, with these kids that they feel stuck with, never having made a career for themselves, and they're like, whose life is this? And it's because they never got in the driver's seat.
Yeah. They've been like forever just like hoping, or I guess just society have just been like telling them that like you are to stay here basically your whole life, and you're just supposed to look for somebody else to fulfill that role.
A man will know.
Yeah.
He will help you.
But like actually that's like so wrong, and like you need to like find that sort of development for yourself and go through all of those stages too.
Yeah.
And also like not half-assed. If you're gonna half-ass develop that, like that's almost worse than not doing it.
What would be like half-assing it?
I don't know, like maybe trying a little bit and then being like, I gave it the old college try. I'm just gonna actually wait for a man.
Oh yeah. I feel, yeah, I definitely, at the end of like each breakup of a relationship, I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna tackle it this time. And then another boyfriend comes along and I'm like, well,
yeah. That's like almost worse than not doing it at all, because like you see it. You like know what the development stage is, and like what maybe tools even you need to like go through it, and then yet still you're like, never mind, I'm just going to scoot back over to the passenger seat.
I think recognition of our own repeated patterns is a really important part in like being aware of passenger. Because some people, which is kind of scary to think about, live their whole life just in the passenger seat and never. I think some people literally like live, work and die, just never.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you telling me that about one of my like past sort of whatever you want to call it situationships of you being like, I just saw you in the passenger seat the whole entire time. And that's like the worst feeling ever, especially like for myself, because I am like super type A and like generally in the driver's seat for a lot of things. To like have taken that role on as like a passenger seat person for like something like that, I think was like one of the worst things I could have ever done for myself.
Yeah, and then that's why you start to get that sense of like, I don't even feel like myself. Yeah. Because that's not you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I guess like a really good learning experience for myself, and way to like, I guess, kind of go through these development stages too, to be like, oh shit, I made my way into the passenger seat and I should not have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good feeling, but I think it's like all that you're familiar with. Like she literally uses the word like it's delaying the very painful developmental task that you have to get in the driver's seat. Yeah. Because it is uncomfortable. And again, like I think it is set up more in like our modern society for men to like comfortably go through that passage with support and celebration. Whereas when women try to do it, it's kind of like, oh, you like are too bossy or like too independent, or like it's sort of off-putting, it's like not very attractive that you're so aggressive, or like you're never gonna find a husband that way kind of thing.
Yeah, which is so unfortunate, because it's like, well, who the fuck are you to tell me that I'm too whatever?
Yeah, it's just
I think you're too whatever. Like, fuck you.
We were even just saying like, women have this like, you know, if you ask a woman what her like 5 and 10 year plan is, like hopefully she'll talk about career and development and travel and all of that, but often she'll be like, and then also I want to make sure I get married and like have a kid by this point or whatever. Yeah. But like, what guy is ever saying that?
Yeah, none.
Which is like kind of, I had a list like that when I was in elementary school.
Oh yeah, I've had children's name like on a list since I was like,
what man has a note in his phone with his future children's names?
None.
I still have a list, and I'm not even planning to have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a Pinterest board of how I would decorate a
nursery.
A nursery.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm like, just in case.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, yeah. When I was like in high school, I mean, even before then, but like in those years, and especially like once I got to college, I was like, well, I know that I want to get married by the time I'm 23, and I want to have kids by the time I'm 25, and I'm gonna be done having my 4 children by the time I'm 30. Yeah. And it's like, look at me now, I'm 28, and that's like, none of that has happened actually.
Which is a kind of a blessing in disguise, right?
Oh, for sure.
Because you probably would have, if you had like been proposed to and fall in love with someone early, then that would have been that situation of like, I will just displace the ownership of my life from my parents to my husband now. Totally. And like now I don't have to go through there was that other passage I had read about like it's like moving from one home to another. It's like without having to really leave home, you just get to like comfortably like nestle into
another like perfect little home made for
like
you,
a pre-made nest.
Right.
We have to make our own nest.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have
to learn how to pick up sticks and make your own and pieces of moss,
hair, whatever else goes in there.
Because it never feels like yours if you're just...
Yeah, I mean, even think about like moving into somebody else's house that like you guys didn't... Like it wasn't like...
That's why they don't recommend it.
Yeah, I mean like getting like a whole new space. Mm-hmm. Like that even goes for like friendships too. Not even just like... you know, romantic relationships. I feel like even friendships of like you having roommates and somebody moving into a space that like has already been lived in, and it doesn't feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
which is like could be shitty too. So yeah, you have to make a life for yourself too, and like go through the developmental stages and figure out,
really important.
Yeah, figure out what you like and what you don't like and what you want and don't want and all of those things. And that's not even just for your like romantic relationships and whether or not you're going to have kids and get married. It's like for career and like friendships and like anything else in your life that like, you know, moves you forward.
Honestly, I think this idea of like someone else must know better. I feel like I have really fallen into that trap a lot, mostly with men, where I'm like, they would know just because they're a guy or they're older than me or they're whatever. And I feel like then a really important thing in like the last year of like going through my own like kind of quarter life crisis has been like, I'm the only authority of my life.
Yeah.
Which is hard. I don't know why that feels really hard. Maybe it's like women in general feel. It's just like I didn't believe that I was an authority figure.
Yeah.
But like, so then I was just, again, giving the permission and the authority and the power to like all these other people externally that I was like, they will know. And if I do what they think is good, I will be good. Yeah. But like, I was never doing what I thought was good for myself.
Right. Yeah, no, it is like a really crazy thing. And it's a weird thing to like, kind of come to terms with too, to be like, no, actually, like I am making decisions for myself.
It's uncomfortable.
It can be, for sure.
Because then all of a sudden you're like kind of like saying no to things, or you're like, I disagree with that.
Totally. Yeah.
Is that okay?
But then like after you like do it and you like say it, you feel so good afterwards because you're like, no, this is me. I'm saying this for me because this is how I feel about this. Yeah. And this, I don't want to do this, or I actually am putting my foot down because I really do want to do this, or whatever it is. And it feels so good to have this like authority over yourself, and to be so in tune with who you are and know what you want and what you don't want and like feel good about it.
Because you're the only person you're going to be with forever.
So that's so true.
And so I've honestly, to bring this back to divorce, I feel like it has given me also like added empathy towards our parents and other people that have been divorced, because I see how easy it can be. Because I think sometimes when I got angsty about the divorce, is like, well, then you shouldn't have gotten married. Like, why didn't you know this?
Yeah.
Before you got married in the first place. Like, you should have like, but like,
I mean, look at us now.
You and I both could have like easily gotten married earlier if situations had been different, and like
we'd be repeating history.
The devil, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I even think my mom kind of did that with my dad. Like, she was like married him because he was so different. He was like the antithesis of her past.
It's literally that thing of like, he says he is the voice of her bad self that she can't express.
Yeah.
He can say the criticisms that I'm speaking more broadly now, not just Tracy, but like, yeah, like she was like, no, he's completely different than all of the men in my family and the men in my hometown. Like, he is completely different. And it helps her solidify her separation from her family.
And this is what I need, or this is what I think that I need, and I think that I want. And sure, in that moment, maybe that is what she needed and wanted. But like now, coming full circle, she ends up with a small town boy.
Because it wasn't ever really about that.
Yeah.
It was just about her needing to, like, the fact that she can be with a small town boy and that not make her feel like, oh no, that's too close to my family, shows that she has on her own been able to say, I know independently that I'm separate from that.
Yeah.
And I can now make my own choices, as opposed to like, I need a husband to like help facilitate that because I can't do it for myself, which understandably when you're young and
when you're like 21
and have grown up in a small town and like
totally
it all makes sense. I just wish that like women, I don't know, I wish we didn't like fall victim to it so
easily.
Because I mean, I think my mom was like 18 when she met my dad, and definitely just kind of was like, oh yeah, this is like, I mean, he's different, you know. She like had immigrant parents, and he was like this all American boy. They had 2 kids together, and then it was like, oh god, I actually don't want this, and I don't need this. This is not good for me. No, it's just crazy. It's because that thing is gonna happen to you at some point no matter what, so it's kind of your choice. Like, do you want to push it off or just do it now? It's gonna be painful either way.
Just do it now. Come on. Don't push it off 20 years.
Yeah.
Because then you're like kind of living in this like lie. of who you are.
That's the scary part to me, is that like sense of I don't even recognize myself or my life. Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You know what's best for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you do.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
I feel like we've done a pretty good job.
I think so. I'm really proud of all of the like work you've done in the last like year and a half. I feel like you've really...
It's been growing pains.
I know. But I feel like you've really turned a leaf.
Yeah, I do feel that.
And you are very like in tune with yourself and what you like and what you don't like and what's going to be good for you and maybe what's not good for you. And like you said before, you've come to know like that way sooner than maybe you have in your past.
Yeah.
Of being like, you know what? Maybe I'm 8 weeks in here, but this isn't good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It is getting like shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't need to learn my lesson multiple times.
And that's okay.
Some of us just need a few more times to see through.
Yeah. But that's only like helping you out for later down the road, like in 20 years. And like you're not going to be experiencing maybe such like huge midlife crisis. I think that there will still be some.
I know, I'm like scared.
It's inevitable.
There's like the 35 to 45 passage, and Philippe, because he's 36 and he's going through maybe a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was like, can you tell me what she's what does she have to say about what's going on? This is like common.
You're like, you should read it.
And then I literally read like 2 sentences from that because I'm like, I don't want to read it yet. And then they were like pretty brutal. And he was like, okay, I'm good actually. Cool, sounds good.
I don't need to hear any more of that one actually. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but
you let me know when you get here in whatever 6 years.
Yeah. It's just like normal though, because it's just like patterns of life. Like you do something like a job for 5 years, 10 years. Like it's just normal that you will change through it and then like want something different. And I feel like the whole idea of this book is like, these are normal things that everyone, like it would not be normal from 18 to 60 to just like lock in and just like do one thing, be with one person, be one version of yourself. Like that would be weird.
That would be weird.
Like life is happening to you for decades. Like you should feel different and want different things.
You're changing every day.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's like kind of interesting to bring it back to like the whole like relationship and divorce aspect of it all, is that like your partner is also going through this. Yes. He or she is also like changing and evolving and going through these crises, like whether or not they're going to be aligned with yours or maybe not, but like support each other through it all and like be there for one another. But also like you need to be walking like a parallel path too. Yeah. Like as soon as somebody veers off to like the right or the left or like goes backwards, like I feel like that's when you kind of like end up in this like whole like, oh fuck, like we're kind of fucked situation, because you're not then going through it together.
Which honestly also just brings even more understanding around the whole thing of divorce, because it's like it really is just a kind of a gamble, and it's more like I want to just kind of celebrate the rarity of couples that are together for their whole lives and not just look at it like that's a success and divorce is a failure. Yeah. Because like you are going to go through, your 18 to 22 thing, your 20s up till 30, the 35 to 45 thing, the like, later years thing. And like each crisis you go through, who knows if like you and your partner at the same time are going to go in the same direction as they grow through it. Like, yeah, I'm doing the approaching 30s crisis and Philippe is like starting his 35 to 45 crisis. And like, who knows? It's really just like kind of a matter of luck.
And like, I think like love and respect for one another and like communication and all those other things that come with it. But yeah, I think luck plays a big role in it for sure.
Yeah. It's just like no one's fault really, if. Yeah. Of course, I always want everyone to be together, happy forever.
I know. Shakespeare. Girl.
And yet I love Romeo and Juliet.
I know.
I just love to yearn. Yeah. Do you like to yearn?
It kind of stresses me out.
It is stressful.
It's super stressful because I'm like, well, if I'm yearning for somebody, are they yearning for me back? And God. If it's not reciprocated, it makes me feel silly, but also like scared because I'm like, well, I don't want to get my heart broken. Like I don't want to be yearning for somebody else and like he's not yearning back for me and then I'm just like left in the dust.
I feel though two people can't yearn for each other at the same time, then you're just together and in love.
Well, even if we take turns, like it just
my dream relationship is just taking turns yearning for each other.
But it's like, yeah, sure, I want to be like courted and like loved and like cared for, and I want somebody to want me like as much as I want them.
Yeah.
But to yearn for somebody just seems whoo doggy.
Whoo doggy. Yeehaw.
Yikes.
Do you have anything else to share?
I don't think so, but I think just give yourself some grace when you're going through these like crises and like whatever like passage you might be like
it's normal.
It's super normal, and we're all feeling this way, whether like I think there are levels of like extremes for it, but like give yourself some grace and like support your friends and yeah, don't feel alone in it either. Like we're all going through this. If you're between the ages of whatever 22 to 30 or the ones before that, like everybody's experiencing something and like it's normal to have a crisis. It's normal to be like, oh my god, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing or who I am. That's super normal. That's not just you. That's probably every single person around you. And in some way.
Yeah. I think also like that's the most painful part is the like realization that something is changing internally and that your external stuff needs to be adjusted somehow. That's like the scariest part, because honestly, once you start like taking actions to make those adjustments, whatever that means to you, changing your career, ending a relationship, moving to a new city, like whatever it may be, it starts to like, it's all better. It's all like uphill from there.
Yeah.
It's honestly just kind of the like recognition of it and that painful part.
Yeah. And also don't be like afraid to if maybe the external forces aren't benefiting you while you're going through your own internal whatevers. Yeah. It's okay to let the external forces go and you to be like, you know what, you're actually not serving me right now at all. You're not supporting me. I don't feel X, Y, and Z by you. You can cut them loose for a little while. Yeah. Maybe until you like figure it out. They figure their shit out and maybe you come back. But like, don't feel like you got to keep everybody around you if they're not supporting you, you know?
100%. Only you know what's best for you.
Yeah.
And I've always said that.
And you've always said that. Yeah.
Well, I will maybe we could link the book perchance.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if this is of interest to anyone else, but yeah, it's Gail Sheehy, Passages. And yeah, I'm curious of people like around our age too, like if you resonate with this approaching 30s thing, or maybe more appropriately like the 18 to 22 thing, because all of us have been through that. And yeah, if any of this resonates with you and this idea of like moving control from your parents to yourself and getting in the driver's seat, because it can be tough. Yeah, and if you want to drop us a comment, we'll be on Instagram at Shat Chat Pod.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast Shat Chat on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and wherever else you listen to podcasts. And we will see you in 2 Tuesdays, baby.
Yes, we will. Bye,
guys.